Hello and welcome to Investors Hangout. This weekly interaction to help you learn and understand savings and investment options is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Now, it's been 15 years since NPS was opened to general public. And today, it's a component, a pivotal component of retirement planning in India. And Dhirendra here is a member of Pension Advisory Committee of PFRDA. So who better than him to, tell us why should we opt for NPS for our retirement? So Dhirendra, first up, for the uninitiated, why don't you tell us how, what exactly is NPS and how it has evolved over the years?
It was created for government employees, and government employees were entitled to something called a defined benefit system, that if you put in this much of service, you will get this much of retirement, this much of pension in your retirement on the day you retire, which was linked to the last salary received. And that, government employees had the privilege, state government as well as central government. It will be adjusted for inflation. Right. They will keep, it will keep getting revised year on year. And this was a great privilege. There was a defined contribution system which was initiated, and that is effective from year 2004. All government employees who came on board from 1st of April 2004, the national pension system was initiated for them. Here the system for the government employee was that, you put your 10% of your salary will be deducted, 10% will be matched by the government. It will be invested in a mutual fund. It will be invested in a mutual fund kind of vehicle, which is the pension plans. And you will keep accumulating all your life. Government will keep matching month after month your deduction. So effectively for government employees, the money was doubling immediately. Then it is getting invested, and it will remain invested for 30-35 years or till the period you don't retire.
So can you explain the auto choice and the active choice options that are available?
So auto choice was quite a innovation from NPS, that there are three plans: aggressive, moderate life cycle, and conservative, where it's almost like the asset allocation which we keep suggesting in all our programs or all our interactions or writings, that as you get more conservative, as you get closer to your needing that money, it should be substantially into fixed income. In the phase of your life when your money has to grow, it should be substantially into equity, and that is what that aggressive plan is. And the moderate plan is actually mixing it up, blending it up, so that you are able to de-risk yourself partially and you don't do it in a knee-jerk way. So this is the broad premise, this is the broad principle based on which this auto choice is. And the active choice is that you choose to allocate as much money into equity as you want to. The maximum of that could be 75%. Right. Which to most people listening to us should go for an active choice and have 75% allocation to equity till 5 years before their retirement. Because if anybody who gets used to this ups and downs, the rewards of bearing this up and down is so phenomenal that it's worthwhile to have, and you need to remain invested in equity for a long period of time to derive the most of it. So you should do that. So go for active choice, have 75% allocation. Only as you get closer to your retirement, plan your investments, how much of money will get into annuity and what will be the income that it can provide. Or do you need to, because now it is possible to retain even the 60% into NPS plan, mount a systematic withdrawal plan, start getting a regular income from that, and the 40% that you buy annuity, that can also provide you some guaranteed income.
Yeah, and that's a recent change. Plus, you can choose fund managers according to your.
Those were technical glitches which were not enabled earlier. Earlier, it was not possible to have a mechanism whereby you like this equity fund of another fund company, you like this equity fund of another fund company and a government securities fund. You necessarily had to choose the three plans or two plans, 75-25 of equity and debt of the same fund company. Yeah. Now it is possible to pick and choose, and now there are more pension fund managers options available. Now there are more and more people joining this to manage it. More and more asset managers, pension fund managers, part of your choice. So look at Value Research Online, look at the pension plans. We have been calculating the performance of all the pension plans from day zero. And You have the full history. You can also look at the individual page of each and every fund, that how they have done. So you get a page like a mutual fund on each and every NPS plan.
Okay, so before we move on, I'd like to ask a question sent in by a viewer. Purnima Singh asks, is NPS also useful for those who have 10 years left for retirement?
NPS could be useful even if you are 10 years away from your retirement. Because NPS is low cost, because NPS forces you to invest and you can't touch it. If you are a little indisciplined, if you are if you are tempted to spend your money, NPS could be a great option, great choice. 10 years is a good enough period where you can have some meaningful accumulation.
Okay, now can you please list the top 5 benefits of investing in NPS for retirement, starting with the first one?
First is that, what everybody thinks is a disadvantage, that once you put your money in NPS, you can't take it out easily for a flimsy reason.
Yeah.
That's one. Second is the low cost. You can't get this low cost, of asset management anywhere else. Third is that, if you are a private sector employee, your employer's contribution is completely tax-free. It is your income. It is possible to invest or get allocated 10% of your basic salary, contribution from your employer into NPS. So it is a deductible expense for the employer, and it is not considered as your income. This is the only tax-free income available to you, which can be invested, can be meant for your retirement.
And just above the 1,50,000.
It is over and above the 80C and 80CCD.
Yeah.
So you can put your own contribution of 2 lakh rupees, which is tax exempt. You can put your 80C money into a tax saving fund, 50,000 rupee into NPS. That is one side. If your employer is putting 1 lakh rupee, 50,000 rupee, 5 lakh rupees, which cannot be more than 10% of your basic salary, if that is a possibility, then that is the other tax-free income that you can have, and that could be quite meaningful. There is one unique advantage of NPS which is not there even with mutual fund. You put your money in NPS and move your money from equity to debt or debt to equity. And this movement, it is completely tax-free. It is tax neutral. You're not liable to pay taxes. The money that you put in tier 2, it's almost like a mutual fund. You put your money in an equity fund, you put your money in a debt fund, equity goes up dramatically, move money from equity to the debt or debt to the equity, no taxes. So it is a tax sheltered vehicle, and perhaps the only tax sheltered vehicle from changing allocation.
Okay, and the fifth one then?
There is one unique advantage of NPS. When it comes to mutual fund or any pooled vehicle, there could be all kind of variety of investors. In, say, for example, in a small cap fund or in a debt fund, there could be a big company investing in, there could be a long-term investor investing in, there could be a short-term investor putting his money. Market cracks, goes down dramatically. Some people take their money out. Here, it is a pool of long-term investors. All the money that has come in is likely to substantially remain there for many, many years.
Right.
So the fund manager can actually take a long-term view. Short-term movements or actions of investors don't really disrupt the investment plan. So that is also a very unique advantage of NPS.
All right, now that's about NPS. There's a viewer's question now that Dhirendra will answer. Harsh asks, what is a good time to invest in NASDAQ 100 index fund? That is before or after Fed interest rate cut, or any other criteria?
First you should ask yourself, why do you want to invest in NASDAQ 100? And the reason why you want to invest in NASDAQ 100 is that it is a compelling investment option. NASDAQ 100 is a collection of companies which are, technological, they are leaps ahead of any technology, on the technology pack.
Right.
And with ease you are able to participate or invest in such companies. And they are the investment alternative or their investment vehicle. They are opportunities which is otherwise not available to Indian investors, and that is the reason. So you should invest your money in NASDAQ 100 for next 10-15 years anyway. Interest rate cut by Fed or not is one aspect. Indian markets being more attractive or less attractive is another aspect. But if you worry about those things, you will never invest. Don't try and time it. You should make long-term investment in NASDAQ 100 for the substantial benefit that it is a vehicle whereby you will be able to participate in companies or invest in companies, which you should for the long term, if the world is going to, grow, or, all the optimism around technology or all the technological change is happening. And if this is the basis why you should choose NASDAQ 100, then I think the only thing you should worry about is when the Indian government permits you to invest liberally, because most of the vehicles are now, you can't invest through them because there is a restriction. RBI has put a restriction on the funds in which Indians invest, simply because, they have crossed the ETF has crossed the ceiling of, $2 billion or, $5 billion. And that should open up some time, but as and when it's possible. My suggestion will be, plan your investments, do your SIP, and do your SIP in the vehicle where it is possible to do it even now.
Well, that's all we have for you in today's episode. Keep watching this space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care. Bye for now.